the intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Rev those engines, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. We got another day of PvP for two big events here with the return of the Mega Cube. And I'm going to talk about how you can win maybe some of the matchups that you're going to see, face, and maybe get used to, and maybe how you can try to counter them a little bit, especially with everybody going to be relying on the crew on the right. Everybody's going to be really trying to push this new crew, and I don't blame them, right? Freeman, Honor Guard Worf, Lorca, fantastic. This is not a trash on that crew video. That crew is really freaking strong, but you're not here for that crew because you probably don't have them. How do I know? The only people that got that one in the middle is that they spent the moolah, but what about everybody else? What about the regular Joes and the Janes and the Jeanettes? Is that even a name in 2023? Anyway, let's talk about crewing. So if you do have the crew on the right, honest to God, you're probably going to finish the battle pretty quickly. And spoiler alert, I did. I actually did that exact same thing. I went out there with that crew. I put Gorkon instead of Lorca because Lorca was on another boat. Ran into stuff like that over there. Squashed it, beat it, did it. All done. The real key with this starts with us learning a little bit of math. I know everybody likes math, but the math specifically I'm talking about is the firing pattern of both the Vidar and the Talios. You'll notice right here and right over there, they're basically the exact same bird, one just being a bigger, stronger version of its predecessor. So the firing pattern is actually going to, change up how some of these officer sets can be effective. And when we talk about what's going to be the most effective set, it's not just about countering the crews themselves, but also understanding the way these ships themselves works. Let me give you a visual example of that. You ready for this one? It's gonna get spicy. Are you ready for spicy? I'm ready for spicy. I'm always ready for spicy because I'm from Louisiana and we love spicy. So how about, bam, that one right there. Now we got the interceptor strike team with Damar. So Ducat, where is Damar? Wait, you're supposed to have Damar here. We're actually using Chauncey Billups. Mind is blown right now. Chauncey Billups actually getting some screen time. Cool for you, buddy. So you've got Goldicott, Garrick, no Damar, and Chauncey Billups going against what is considered a vaunted, powerful, strong, OP even, PvP squad, and yet winning pretty handily. And you can see these are two evenly powered boats. In fact, the one on the right is actually a higher level player with a higher level boat. No, the skin just looks great. It doesn't actually give an actual bonus to it. But this is one example. It's not the only example. What if we take it up a notch? What if we say, hey, I get what you're saying, Rev, but these are just Vidars. What about us high levels? What about us rich people? The ones who are just blankety throwing out all the money. What about the people who literally live for
Money, 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 money.
the money? Well, don't worry, y'all got one too. Again, Ducat, Garrick, Billups, beating them. And look at the size of these Talioses. They are massive. Again, a lot of this comes down to the firing pattern of the ship. And as we always talk about, who attacks first? You need to be the aggressor. So if you want to win this event, take your ship out and smack first. You got to be number one. But let's talk about some of these different crew sets and why they work. So to start, let's actually go back up a little quick, go back in a little way back machine and take a look at these crews themselves. So if we scroll down here, we're going to find our lower decks crew, which is what we're focusing on. Carol Freeman, she's the big one right now. Vocal Jazz, increasing the number of shots by players 100%. So more shots is good. But remember, the Vidar, especially that round one, is only shooting one shot, one weapon, so you just go 1 to 2. It's not a drastic change. And then you got Cerrito Strong below deck. If the enemy player has any state, you're going to have that isolated cascade kick in, which is valuable. So now you need something to kick that in. Well, typically what people are doing to kick that in is Honor Guard Worf, right? We saw. You'll actually put it back on the screen. So typically how people are kicking that in is they're getting Honor Guard Worf to get a critical. And when a critical is activated, Hull Breach comes on through with like Gorkon and Lorca, and we're getting really strong, powering it up. But what if we prevented all that from happening? That's kind of the basic premise of the first crew that I showed you. Let me scroll up and show you Lorca real quick, who's going to be with the Disco set, because he is a little bit different than how Gorkon works. His quick thinking is 70% chance of dealing a hull breach to the opponent for 2 rounds. but it's not, incumbent upon a critical happening, but that's okay. Because the big thing is remembering that when the whole isolated cascade is another multiplier after all the criticals. So if you prevent the critical, you're going to prevent a lot of the damage, which is how you end up getting that log I showed to start this video. Let me pull it back up for you real quick. So you'll see that I pulled this victory out. That's against Interceptor Strike Team, which also is something that relies on critical. So what did I do? Talios Ahura, an easily sourced in this point of the game officer for players in the 30s and 40s. Talios Ahura with Talios Kirk as synergization, negative 110% chance to hit a critical. We're taking away criticals, which means even if there is hull breach, we're not getting that added multiplier for damage that hull breach provides, and we're preventing the added damage multiplier that critical provides. So remember, basic math here, you nerds. Critical chance with Honor Guard Warfare super high. When we hit a critical, what happens is this player, Pirate, would have had a 2.4 multiplier to their damage. So if their damage had been 1 million, it then would have gone critical 2.45 million. And then here's the crazy thing after that is that they would have had hull breach, you would have then multiplied 2.45 by 1.5, and it would have gone even higher, about 4 million. So that's how you go from a 1 million shot to like a 4+ million shot because of hull breach and criticals. And now Isolated Cascade would have kicked in. So you can see how this just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Makes sense. If we go back to some of our these earlier logs I did when I was running it with some of these, let's see, I'm just gonna pick a random log. You see me running it here like this on a Vidar, and you see that I'm pulling out 1 million shots early on. 1.5, and this is a Vidar. This is a level 25 ship. We can actually go back further and take a look at some of the big ones. How about when I hit a level 50? Pepe says knock you out. They're running Interceptor Strike Team. I'm running this again. I didn't even put in Lorca. I just ran Gorkon, and I'm getting 2 mil shots, 2.7 mil shots. Oh, 5.3 million and 4.3 million. Wow, that's pretty daggum strong. So again, this is that effect of hull breach, criticals combining, and then after the fact, the isolated kicking in. So we really want to try to limit that. You can't limit the amount of shots that they're hitting you with. They're going to hit you with a lot of shots. But if I can limit it by taking away their ability to, use that big shot to their advantage, like I did here with Pirate, who's running Interceptor Strike Team, I took away their criticals. So now it doesn't matter if they have it, and I beat them. But that's not the only win we managed to grab. You see I got a couple victories here. We got Fred here that was running the crew that we just talked about. Now, I still took damage. Don't miss it. I took damage, but I was able to win and stop them. And that's just part of it. Again, this isn't the complete set because there's another one that I already showed you. And remember, let's bring up Billups. Why are people adding in Billups? Well, let's bring up Billups' ability with the Interceptor Strike Team. So you've got the officer ability at the start of the round. If on an interceptor and the enemy has hull breach, increases your isolated cascade. So we in that Interceptor Strike Team are giving ourselves the cascade bonus, plus we're getting the bonuses of Gold Ducat and Garrick. What are those bonuses? Well, to remind you, here's Gold Ducat. He's going to have, when Interceptor fighting player ship at the start of the round, 20% chance to apply hull breach. That obviously gets magnified with synergy. Officer ability, bam, right there, increases the shots per weapon for 5 rounds. That obviously goes up as you level him up. And then we'll go over to Garrick, which is when fighting, increases critical hit chance. So similar styles of builds here, but if you want to try to get rid of all of it, you go with what I showed at the very beginning. But you can also run this crew, and you're typically going to outperform some of the things that you end up facing out there in the wild. You see, we got variations of it. It's not just 1 or 2 examples. It's consistent that you can beat it because of, again, I harped on this at the beginning, the firing pattern of these Vidars makes it easier to work around for you when it comes to crewing. It's not as much front loaded. These aren't going to last just 1 round usually, and you can find ways to find success. And that means you're going to end up coming back and saying, hey, Rev, thank you. I managed to finish this event when I didn't think I could because those new crews, and I used an old crew. You're welcome. Oh, man, it makes me happy to empower the people. Hopefully, it's PvP, and I want everybody to have at least a shot. Let me know if this works for you down in the comment section. down below. If this helped out, happy to hear it. Just gave you a couple different officer stats. If you have the crew on the right, like I said, just go ahead and run it. You're probably going to win. You don't need a ton of points to win this one. But if you're in the 30s, 40s, you say, hey, I don't have these premium officers. I haven't bought Billups. I haven't bought, Ransom. Cool. Bust out the old classic. See how it goes. See if you can find some straggler out there running something that you just absolutely don't expect. Every now and then you're going to find stuff like this, and you just take the win. Take it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, live long and plunder. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video. And last but not least, help out the channel by liking it. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we will catch you with the next Star Trek Fleet Command content coming to you soon. Very soon.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.